What's going on, everybody? It's Matt, the FF Mediators, and today I'm going to do a heat check on Evan Engram, kind of walk through what I'm doing on my fantasy teams, let you know what the Mediators are doing with their teams as well. But let's just jump straight to it. Evan Engram, yes, he started the year injured. He had several games missed, so I think we can just go ahead and just move on to the sample size we do have, which is the last 2 weeks. Week 6 against the Bears, pretty good defense. He had 24 points. Week 7 against New England, he had 11 points. So it's looking up for Evan Engram. He's been involved in the offense, but if you really break down those numbers, I think that's where we see the involvement that Evan Engram has in this Jacksonville Jaguars offense. Over the last 2 weeks, just breaking it down by position, among tight ends, he's fourth in team target percentage at 27%. So he's involved and he's a focal point of this offense. He's third in catchable targets. So Trevor, who has been playing decent and well despite the losses, which a lot of people don't want to admit, has been delivering catchable balls to Evan Engram. On top of that, he's second in receptions and he's fourth in yards. You can't ask for much better metrics than that from Evan Engram. He's a big part of the offense, and in the tight end market, we'll take what we can get. It's been a weird year at that position. Everyone thought all the elite playmakers were coming together, and it felt like it might be the first time where everyone might have a tight end and the position might be solved. It has not been that. It has been chaos all over the place, but I think Evan Engram is the steady rock that you should go and buy for your team right now. I think he's a great position to have a really solid season and end out the year with this competing Jacksonville Jaguars team. No, they're not currently in the playoff position or the playoff race, but I do believe that they're going to continue to try and get there. We're just a few years removed with the Jacksonville Jaguars went on a crazy run to make the playoffs, and they're basically setting themselves up to do it again. I'm not saying that they will, but I'm saying that's what they're trying to do. They've done this before, so I expect them to try and get in the playoffs and keep winning football games. And the recipe for the Jaguars is Evan Engram. He's been Trevor Lawrence's safety blanket. Last year, he was tight end 2 on the season. The year before that, tight end 5. Now that he's playing and he's got the involvement, I see no reason for that to change. That should continue. And for me, I'm buying him if I can get him in my leagues. If we're talking Dynasty, over on Keep Trade Cut, he's tight end 14. And for me, that's just a little bit too low. There's several names around him, like Cole Kmet, Isaiah Likely, David Njoku. We can debate those and put them in tiers, but I think Evan Ingram's the best play right now. And I think, yes, he's 30 years old, but I don't see that stopping him from being back next year and doing the same thing again. Evan Engram should be involved in this offense. He'll continue to be a big part for Trevor Lawrence, and I expect them to play a little bit better football. Over the next 4 weeks, he's got Green Bay, Philly, Minnesota, and Detroit. A couple of those matchups aren't the best matchups, but 2 of them are okay. Green Bay's 10th against tight ends, and Minnesota's 11th against tight ends as being best matchups. So I think Evan Ingram's in a position where he could really score some points for our fantasy teams and kind of make a big difference on our rosters. Given the landscape of tight ends for the last few weeks, that's something that we need, and that's something that we should be chasing. If I were to trade for him in Dynasty and I'm a competing team, I'm happy moving my second for him. Coach, he always talks all the time about what's the difference between a second and a third, and he can go on a long list about the third round picks that he's hit versus second round picks that have missed, and he kind of has this belief of take your shots in the third versus the second. There's a lot to break down there, and I'm sure we'll cover that over some future videos. But what I do know is if I have a team where I think I can win and I need to tie it in, Evan Engram is who I'm going to go by. And if I'm giving up a second for that, I'm happy to do that because I know that he's going to solve that position for me for the rest of this season and for the rest of next season. And I can take that time to figure out what I need to do if I need to pivot, because we always talk about pivoting out of the trade, but I don't think you're going to have to do that right now just because he's that good of a tight end. He's proven it over the last 2 years he's involved. He's proven it over the last 2 years he can be an elite playmaker and put up big fantasy numbers to help you win your weeks. And he's done it the last 2 weeks since he's been back from his injury. The metrics just show he's still at the top of tight ends. It's as good as you can get with that position. So for me, I'm buying. I know I've talked to the other mediators. They're also buying. So be sure to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube at the FF Mediators. Follow us over on X at the FF Mediators. We're live every single Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern on the Face Off Sports Network, answering your questions live, whether that's buy, sell, hold, trade questions, start, sit, waiver wire, you name it. We're answering your questions. We can't wait to see you there. Until next time, thanks for watching.